Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. And here's our track, 4.94 kilometres long, and overtaking chances into the first corner, into turn 14 at the end of the Esplanade, and now into turn 16 in the newly reprofiled sector that we first ran on in 2023. Still though, it's punishing and tough on the brakes, and the heat and humidity will take an effect on our drivers. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Michael Schumacher lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Fernando Alonso, Russell, Yuki Tsunoda, and Stroll, Sainz, Piastri, Leclerc, and Max Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Pierre Gasly, and Albon, Antonelli, Colapinto, Ollie Behrman, and Gabriel Bortoleto. Lawson and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. So I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about this afternoon, and who's going to talk about it with us? None other than Naomi Schiff. Hi, Naomi. You know us. Professionals as we are, we don't listen to rumours all the time, just some of the time. And in the case of this driver, I think we were right to listen to those rumours because they were true.
Well, every driver has their own characteristics and how they deal with these situations, but a lot of it may have to do with whether the seat they're in currently is secured or not. And I would say to these drivers, try not to think too much about it. Make sure you focus on your performances on track, because that's what's going to make the difference.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Gap to your teammate behind, 4.6 seconds. You've got 4 laps until your pit window opens. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Charles is in for his stop now. Okay, Michael. Right, we've got some clear track in front of us, so let's make best use of it and make the next lap a quick one. You got this. Yeah, really good job on hitting that target, mate. Nice work. Still a long way to go, though. In this lap, push now. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 34.9 seconds. Don't forget, box this lap. Okay, be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap. Okay, mate, we might need to look at a new race strategy after that. I've got some options for you, so go and check your MFD. Understood, copy that. Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap. Okay, off we go, back into the race. Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Okay, Michael. Engine's running too hot. Engine is running too hot. Let's keep it a bit cooler for now, please. Okay, gap ahead, 1.6 seconds. Okay, unlucky, mate. It was a good try, but we didn't quite meet our targets. Not to worry. Get your head down and chin up, and let's focus right the way into the checkered flag. Good job, nice overtake. Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race. Final lap, final lap. Push, push. 9 race wins in a row. Wow, we are speechless here on the pit wall. Enjoy this result.
And it's another great day to add to so many more. A win for the legend that is Michael Schumacher.
And they led every single lap of the race. It was a light to flag victory, and that is total dominance.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.